Good morning, guys. Well, it's been another couple of weeks since you last saw us. The reason for that is because of NATO. It's basically taken over my life for the last few months, and that was one of the big reasons why we hadn't been up here and everything else. But the plot is an absolute mess. But we need to start getting it prepared, ready for next year, otherwise we're going to be in trouble. The temperature's dropping loads in the nights, so it's time that we pull out our marrows. And I'm going to pull out, I got 3 marrows growing. These were the seeds that we had from Dan, so Dan's Allotment Dairy, and thanks for them seeds last year, Dan. We had a crack at it, but these have had to fend for themselves all year. They've not been fed or watered or anything. If it's rained, they've had water. If it hasn't, they haven't. So it's not been the best of growing conditions. But, you know, we got 2 okay size, so which I'm quite happy with. So I'm going to get them cut off, and we'll show you. So I'm going to start trimming some of this back a moment, so I can get it out. But yeah, it's time to cut it. The nighttime temperatures are really dropped, so now guys, don't go expecting anything like Dan's marrow, because they're nothing like that. But you know, considering it's my first one, I'm quite happy. So I can see if I can lift this boy up. Here we are. So there's one of my marrows. Haven't got a clue of the weight, but it's a fair old size. I'm quite pleased with that. So I'm going to put him down by here. Oh, absolutely stinking. As you can see, I didn't even get it covered or nothing. That's something I learned from Dan this year. If you cover them, they don't ripen so well, so quick. The next one is down here, so I need to cut some of this stuff back. Incidentally, guys, you're going to start seeing more videos now, because I need to get up here and get on with things, and all the projects that I had going for next year and the winter and stuff will be happening now through the winter, so stick with us. Before I go any further, I just want to say, you know, a big thanks to all the new subscribers. I think we're at about 1,500 at the moment, so you know, big thank you for that. Like I said, there's not been a lot of new videos recently, but we will be back on it now. Okay, let's trim some more of this off. I want to talk about Dan's video while we're at it. That monster marrow that he pulled yesterday, oh, it's huge. So I hope that there is a really good weight for you, Dan, because by God, was that a big marrow. I'm going to redirect you guys. I'm not sure if you can see what I'm seeing. Bear with me 1 second. I think we're over around about there. Actually, I'll lift you up, so when I lift it up you'll see it. Yeah, so I'm quite pleased, considering these haven't been fed or nothing. Okay, I think we are done. Let's have a look at this one. Again, another good sized marrow. Shame I haven't really got a local show. I'd like to have put these in and seen how well they did, but we'll put him down here. I mean, not far off the same size, those two, I don't think, to be honest with you. Give you some sort of idea, that was the block of wood they were lying on, because they were tiny when I put them there. But like I said, I haven't been here. Now, the other one is through here. The beans, as you can see, have fallen over, but there's loads of beans on them, and I'm leaving that so that we can get seed for next year out of them. So also we're going to do a thing, bean plants, so runner beans, French beans, you know, borlotti and things like that. They can be overwintered, so we might try that this year. I've never tried it, and I did talk about it last year. So we might just take a couple of plants of each and actually see whether we can get them going next year, because apparently the crop's supposed to be much better the year after. We've got one more down by here, guys, but this one again is very small, but will produce something, you know. And that's the third one, guys. So it's only a baby in comparison to the other two. I haven't got a clue with the weights, but what I'm going to do, I haven't got scales with me today, but what I'll do when I go home, I'll weigh them and I'll add it to the video. Excuse the helicopters flying over, because this is going to get a bit loud now. She's coming right overhead. Leeks and things are doing okay. Hopefully these will continue to grow now and we'll have some decent leeks. Like I said, the beans, they're going over now there. Yeah, quite pleased with these marrows, considering, guys. Nothing on the par of Dan's, obviously, but then he is a master at growing large veg, and it's the first year I've grown them, and they are from Dan's seeds. Okay, I want to take you into the polytunnel next, and the reason for that is because everything collapsed in there over the last few months, so I'm going to take you in and just show you the mess in there. Okay, guys, so as you can see, a lot of the tomatoes are on the floor, and the reason for this, I think, there's a couple of reasons. Firstly, I think the weight was just too strong for the strings, but also I've had someone come in here, they've broken into the polytunnel again, and they stole my wheelbarrow, which was down in the bottom down there. So I gotta sort out the sides of the door, you know, making sure that's locking better. They didn't take the tomatoes, which, okay, is not so much an issue, but like I said, my wheelbarrow is gone at the moment. So I'm gonna stick you there a second, and I'm gonna come around, give you some sort of idea of some of the size of some of the tomatoes. I'm gonna pick some of them. Actually, I think we had some loads and loads of tomatoes here. Look at that, guys, for a tomato. Absolutely stunning. Nice, good size. This one's got a bit of scab on it, so I don't know what's gone on there, but again, we'll cut all that out when we go to eat them. There's some absolute chunkers here. Look at that. You know, it's a good fist size, you know. I don't know if the video's picking all of this up. Hopefully it is. Again, some good sized tomatoes on them. We got normal sized tomatoes as well. So we're going to make up a load of chutney on here. There's those black Russians, and they're really sweet, and they're quite nice. So they're cherry. We've got a load of sun gold, but again, they're not looking too good at the moment. They've all split, so they've obviously had irregular watering. So we got absolute tons going on in here. There we are. Again, that one's no good, so we'll cut him off. We'll get rid of all of them off there. But a couple of nice tomatoes there. You know, another big one here that's just finishing ripening. So we've done really well on tomatoes, but like I said, the whole, you know, you can see it's just fallen over. It's all on the floor, and it's just a mess. And it's the same no matter how far down you look. In here, as you guys know, in here we had some really good sweet corn. The Belotti beans, the other beans are not doing too well either. They've grown, there's quite a lot of beans on them, but they haven't really thickened up yet. Some of them are going to seed, which is nice, so we'll keep them seed for next year. These were not very successful either, guys. It's a tiny little plant there, don't know what they like. Excuse that. Totally not ready. So, as you can see, it's like a jungle in here. I'm going to take you off. Some of the tomatoes have started rotting on the floor because they were on the floor. I'm going to take you off the thing now, off the pod, just so you can have a quick look around. So as you can see, we've got some really good tomatoes there. We've got loads in the thing to take off and what have you, but you can see everything is just on the floor, and where they're on the floor, some of them are rotting off and what have you, so we're going to need to get all of that sorted. But look at them, there's absolute tons of them here. I don't know how well you're actually seeing this, so but look at it, all on the floor. So we'll take most of these today. Chili plants, tons of chilies on, that's great. More tomatoes all over the floor there. You know, we've got some good chilies, but some of the plants have collapsed and then others haven't. Again, no support. Some of the hots, I've got a maruga, red maruga over there. Don't know if you can actually make it out because there's a stingy in the way. Let's see if I can pull it out the way. The red maruga down there. That's going to be real hot. You know, there's a couple of nice cayenne there. You know, there are chilies pretty much everywhere on there, so they've done well, and they're big plants. And I'm going to see whether I can overwinter some of these plants, especially these two. Again, there's not a lot on these ones. This one has got quite a few on it. You know, marugas. But that's it. These, as you can see now, the mildew is starting to kick in on the cucumbers. We've got a small little melon here, didn't come to a lot. A couple of small ones there, small one there. They just didn't get enough space in here. I just totally jammed it and mucked that up, so next year they'll be getting a lot more space. So a mess in here, and again, I don't know, a lot of this is down to weight issues with the string. I got a new idea for next year, but I don't know if it was sabotage as well when they stole the wheelbarrow. They forced the main door open. This is a very large mound of bark chips, wood chip, depending what you want to call it. Let me just come around so you can give you some sort of idea. And that's as tall as I am, so it's about 5.5 feet tall, 6 foot nearly. We've got to put that in with the chickens. I've had to clear a path because obviously it was all dumped up against the door of the shed. Made a decision because again, for the last 11 or 12 weeks where I haven't been coming up here, the ducks and chickens have been fed, and the missus have collected what eggs have been here, but someone's been taking all the eggs and dumping this soil and all sorts over here, so I'm getting a bit fed up of it. Now the secretary has quit the allotment, so they're looking for a new secretary at the moment, which I'm not going to do. But I've got a load of ducks which I'm going to sell, and I keep the Aylesbury's, but I'm going to sell all the others, and the reason for that is they're just eating so much food that it's just not becoming, you know, cost effective to have them at the moment, especially with all the eggs going. So we're going to keep the big white ones, especially for the pond. The khaki Campbells are all for sale. The little black and white crosses are for sale. as well as those 2 little ducks down there. So they're all going to be sold, and we're just going to keep the Aylesbury's. At least that way we know any duck eggs that we want to bring on are going to be a pure breed rather than mixing them and everything else. As you can see, the pond is still going really well. A couple of ducks on it. You know, I got to get in here, I got to trim all this down. But the place is a mess at the moment, everywhere it is. Like I said, for the last sort of 3 months, everything's been sort of fending for itself. You know, the missus has been coming up and feeding and everything else, so I've been up here on the odd occasion. The thing is absolutely minging in here. I've got to get in here and get this cleaned out. But yeah, I've got 2 eggs in there and they're absolutely filthy, but they'll be gone. If I left them there, they'd be gone. And the reason I know is because I've been placing eggs from the house in there, and the funny thing is they've had the lion marking on them as well, because we've had to buy eggs. We've had all these birds. Again, there's a mess in there which needs cleaning out today. We've had all these birds and we've had to buy eggs ourselves, and I've been placing eggs that are getting old in the house in there with lion markings on, and they have been going for walkabouts as well. Again, in here we've got a duck hiding in here, I think, but in these thingies. But need to get in here and trim all this out ready for the winter. It's a bit of a shame that I got so much stingy root in the ground, but I can't do nothing about it. My idea eventually is to put all sorts of comfrey in here, which I can use as a fertiliser on the plot. You know, we've got it up the back end, but I've been taking a lot of root cuttings and stuff, which will come in handy. But what it will do is help to shade this lot down, and the stingies won't get so what I call out of it. But like I said, so every duck that's not an Aylesbury is for sale at the moment. So if you're around Wales and you need some ducks, let me know. And I do vet people, so don't expect that you're going to just turn up and think, right, I'm going to take ducks. If I don't know how it's going to be looked after, you don't get them. Anyway, that's about it, I think, to be honest with you today, guys. Oh, I'll just take you over to the Marrows, just so you can see them one last time on the floor without being covered in anything. I know this end of the video's a little jerky because I'm all over the place with it, but that's alright, they'll all come good in the wash. I'll give you a little scope of you could see the plot, how bad it is. And this is what I was on about keeping the hoe moving, guys. If you're not on your plot doing the work, this is what happens to it. It is a right mess. And those of you who've seen my videos before or know me, you know I never let my plot get like this normally. It's normally, you know, all clean beds, nice paths and everything. Even the path has had all this come through it. So we had a good year though on spuds. And we haven't done too bad on Marrows, guys, you know. Don't quite know what I'm going to do with them all, but like I said, I'm happy that they're this size. I'm going to give them a wipe over, take them home, and you know, they would have made a nice little sort of trio on a table, I think. We'll get in here now, and we'll, you know, this weed is like up to my waist height. Bit of good news on the blackberries though. We've had a few blackberries off here, so they're growing now, so they'll be ready for next year. But as you know, we've been collecting seed and stuff. We let things go to seed. Well, here is a broccoli bush. It's all seeds on it. So we won't be buying broccoli seed next year. But we've got a lot of work to do up here. There's another one going to seed here, and this is what happens. It turns to flowers first, okay, and then these seed pods appear, and then once they appear, then they grow into longer pods like these. So it's like three stages on that one plant there. We got tons of beans, and again, I haven't been here collecting them. Our freezer's full anyway, but I mean, there's beans everywhere on here. They can't really be eaten because they're that, you know, they're so old now. They're getting really tough and what have you, but it's coming to the end, so we'll let these go to seed, and we'll collect the seed next year. We may sell a few plants, you know, what have you. Now, there was a very small melon in there. Again, like I said, it's had to fend for itself. It's had no light, no cover, so that's pretty much it, guys. One thing I have got here that I've got to dig up is okra, and that's going to be in the next video. I don't know how well it'll do, but we'll show then. So all in all, you know, we've had a lot of produce out of the plot despite it being in a mess. That was because of the preparation we put in the beginning of the year. We went away, all right, it's got in a mess now, but you know, we can sort that out. But we've had the produce out, and that's the main thing. We just need to get it ready now for next year and get the bed sorted and everything else. While I'm here, the pond is getting buried at the moment, but it's doing really well. There's frogs up here, loads of them. So the frog spawn all hatched, and we had a load of little tiny frogs, and they're probably all hiding in the hibernaculum back there at the moment, because we can hear them croaking and stuff when we're here. So and the fish are still swimming around in there, so it's all good at the moment. See what happens with that now over the winter. Anyway guys, that's it. I've yapped on enough about nothing. Okay guys, so we're at home now. I've managed to get the first one of the marrows into a Marshall's potato sack. So we're gonna lift it up. This scales weighs up to 35 kilos, 77 pounds. They're not going to be anywhere near that, so we should be able to weigh that properly. It's set now back to 0, as you can see, and we'll see how we do. So I'm just going to stick that through it. I'm just hoping that it's going to be okay. So for now, I'm going to bring it over to you. Oh. I'm not sure if this potato sack will hold, but we'll give it a go. And it's not looking like it. It's looking like it's going to rip. Yeah, it's not having a bar of it. We're at 52 pounds there, guys. So that's the first one, 52 pound. Considering, oh, that was heavy, and the bag did hold. But considering the fact that it hasn't had anything, I'm quite happy. Oh, so this one, guys, 52 pound. I'll go and get the next one now. I don't think this one is as heavy. It's longer, but it's a lot narrower. So let's see if I can get it in the bag a minute. Yeah, it's going in. Just trying to do it so I don't ruin the marrow. There we are, guys. So this one's slightly longer. So that one was 52 pounds. We'll reset this back to 0. We're going to see what this one is. Just hope this net keeps holding out for us. That one is a 40. I don't know if we can make that out, guys. 47 pounds. So the other one was £5 heavier. So we've got a 52 and a 47. You know, I'm quite happy with that, considering it's the first year I've grown them and they've had to fend for themselves. Let's get this net off a minute. Oh. And now we've got our tiny one. I'll weigh him anyway. I think this is probably going to be around about 20 pounds maybe. Let's have a look. turn that back to 0. Okay. Oh, surprise guys, that one's at £31, so that shocked me. So we got a 52, 47 and 31. You know, considering they've had to fend for themselves, haven't been fed, haven't been watered or anything, I think that's a pretty good outcome. Anyway, I'll see you on the next video, guys.